Welcome back, hobbits. Today, we're going to talk about Melkor. Upon Arda, Melkor took darkness and cold as his domain. During the shaping of Arda, he thwarted its making so it became marred and imperfect. And while the Valar set about building their kingdom of Al-Maren, Melkor corrupted many of the Maya spirits. He took them into the north of Middle-earth and built his rival kingdoms of Utumno and Angband. In Arda, Melkor waged 5 great wars against the Valar, laid waste to Al-Maren, and destroyed both the great lamps and trees of the Valar. But in the beginning, Melkor appeared in forms both fair and foul. But after the destruction of the trees of light, he always assumed his evil form, which the elves called Morgoth, the dark enemy of the world. As tall as a tower, Morgoth wore an iron crown and black armor. He carried the mace called Grond, the hammer of the underworld, and a huge black shield. The fire of malice was in his eyes. His face was twisted and scarred, and his hands both burned perpetually from the fire of the Silmarils. Yet, in the War of Wrath, all of Melkor's power was destroyed. After the destruction of the trees, Melkor was given a new name. The Valar now named him Morgoth, the Dark Enemy. Melkor's transformation into Morgoth, the dark enemy of the world, coincides with his return to Middle-earth and his subterranean fortress in the Iron Hell of Angband and Beleriand. Like the fallen Lucifer transformed into Satan on his throne in Hell, Morgoth in Angband gathered about him all his fallen rebel beings and a multitude of evil and twisted forms of life. Morgoth is also a master deceiver and creator of discord, and furthermore engenders the great evil of fire-breathing dragons and winged fire drakes in preparation for the final great battle with the powers of Arda at the end of the First Age. It is worthy to note that Tolkien informs us Melkor had been given the greatest gifts of power and knowledge, and how when he first entered Arda, he descended in power and majesty greater than any of the Valar. However, once within the world, Melkor became akin to a black cloud and a nightmare loosened upon the waking world. As Tolkien explains, Melkor's fall is also a moral one. From splendor he fell through arrogance to contempt for all things. He began with a desire for light, but when he could not possess it for himself alone, he descended through fire and wrath into a great burning down into darkness. It is of course ironic that Lucifer, the bringer of light, becomes Satan, the bringer of darkness. It is doubly ironic that Tolkien's world, where the morning star is the Silmaril, carried into the heavens by Erendil, the Mariner, who, in the final great battle, leads the host of Valar in the war of annihilation against the Dark Enemy and all his allies, and Morgoth, like Satan, is hurled back into the abyss forever. Thank you once again for listening. I used all my resources from A Guide to Tolkien and The Dark Powers of Tolkien by David Day.